The Battle of Geonosis. The air is a blender of chaos. Blaster bolts cutting through the haze, droids exploding into scrap, Jedi darting between crumbling pillars like living streaks of light. The sound is deafening, gunship cannons pounding, droid blasters chattering, the constant whine of starfighter engines screaming overhead. An LAAT gunship comes screaming in low, repulsors howling, its hull scorched and smoking. It slams into the dirt with a bone-rattling thunk, sending up a wave of dust that tastes like hot metal. The side doors slide open with a hydraulic hiss, and out charge 5... clone troopers? Something's off. This armor isn't regulation. One set of pauldrons is hanging on by duct tape. A shin guard on another is spinning like a lazy windmill as he runs. And one helmet, one actual combat helmet, has been painted silver with glittery streaks that catch the sun every time he moves. They don't run in military formation. They jog out in a loose, uneven line, looking around like they're waiting for someone to yell action instead of take cover. Halfway to the nearest barricade, they stop dead in the middle of the war zone. Blaster bolts sizzle past their heads. A super battle droid goes down 10 feet away, sparks coughing from its chest. They just stand there, gawking. With a series of helmet clicks, they pop their lids. It's NSYNC! 5 pop stars in ill-fitting clone armor, squinting through smoke and sand like they just walked out of a backstage door and into hell. Justin looks left, then right, then squints up at the flaming sky. Where's the green room? JC slides his eye with one gauntleted hand. Is that Ewan McGregor? Are we filming episode 3? Chris is busy smacking his comm link. Hello, sound guy. This isn't funny. Joey's already sweating. Guys, I don't see a camera crew. Lance just stares, wide-eyed, as Jedi decapitates a battle droid 30 feet away. Those don't look like stunt sabers. They have no idea how they got there, and the war doesn't care. Across the chaos of Geonosis, Mace Windu is a storm of precision. Purple blade flashing, deflecting blaster fire in perfect rhythm, cutting down droids as he shouts orders to the real clones holding the line. Even here, in the middle of the galaxy's first full-scale battle in decades, he notices the anomaly immediately. 5 troopers. Wrong gate, wrong spacing, wrong everything. One's blaster is being held upside down, another's holding his helmet under his arm. One has shoulder pads so loose they're clapping against his ribs with every step. Mace plants his feet, cuts down a final super battle droid, and turns toward them with that slow, deliberate stride that makes even the Jedi Padawans reconsider life choices. Dust curls around his boots as he closes the distance. The 5 freeze in place. Up close, it's even worse. None of their faces match. No same jawline, no same haircut. Hell, one of them even has frosted tips. Is that even a thing in this galaxy? Their armor isn't just ill-fitting, it's personalized. Glitter stripes, crooked shoulder plates, and hastily duct-taped chest plate with a crack running through it. Mace's voice is calm, but sharp enough to cut through the noise of battle. You're not Fetzbatch. Who are you? Justin's face lights up like he just spotted a celebrity at an airport. Oh my god, you're Samuel L. Jackson. Mace blinks. Slowly. I am Mace Windu, Jedi Master. There's a brief moment of awkward silence. Chris leans in towards JC, muttering just loud enough for the Jedi Master to heal. Damn, commitment to the bit. Mace brow furrows just a fraction. What bit? Lance raises a hand halfway, like a kid in class who didn't really read his homework. So are there craft services here, or... Joey takes a step back, eyes darting to the battle. Where are the cameras? Mace just stares at them, expression blank, but radiating the same energy as a man trying to figure out if he's talking to spies, lunatics, Or the galaxy's most pathetic infiltration squad? Another blaster bolt zips past. Without even looking, Mace tilts his saber and sends it right back into the chest of a battle droid. He doesn't flinch, he doesn't even break eye contact. You've got 10 seconds, he says evenly, before I decide if you're worth keeping alive. Before any of them can answer, a lone B-1 battle droid crests the ridge behind them, its metal fingers tightening on the trigger. Pew! The bolt slams into the dirt at Justin's feet, kicking up a spray of molten sand and shrapnel. The heat rolls over them in a wave that smells like burnt ozone. JC jumps so hard his chest plate pops loose. That wasn't a blink. Lance spins in a slow circle, one hand in the air like he's hailing a taxi. Okay, guys, joke's over. Where's the camera crew? Sound guy? Boom mic? Anybody? There's no response. Just the mechanical whine of more droids advancing through the dust. Mace Windu steps forward, his face a wall of absolute calm, and with a flick of his thumb, the purple blade ignites, bathing the sand and their terrified faces in violet light. The hum isn't coming from a speaker, it's alive, vibrating through the air, filling their ears in a way no soundstage could ever replicate. Chris's mouth hangs open. Holy another bolt screams toward them. Mace deflects it without breaking eye contact, sending it back into the droid's chest. The machine drops in a smoking heap. The five just stare, breathing hard, as the reality of the situation starts to sink in. There's no cameras, no props, no stunt choreography. This isn't a set, this is real war. Even in the middle of a war zone, Jedi notice things. How a blaster bolt bends in the wind. How a droid formation shifts before an ambush. How 5 so-called clone troopers can look like they wandered in from 5 entirely different auditions. By the time Mace has herded them behind the wreckage of a downed LAAT for cover, the comm chatter is already lighting up. Reports from clone officers filter to the Jedi Council. Unidentified troopers on field, not matching CT profiles. Height variance extreme. Hair variance inexplicable? Every clone is supposed to be a carbon copy. Same height, same build, same brown buzz cut, same voice. But these 5? They're like a before and after poster for 5 different hair product lines. Wrong height, Joey towers over all the others. And wrong hair, Justin's bleach blonde curls are glinting in the Geonosian sun. Wrong everything. Chris's sideburns belong in a different decade. JC's rolled his sleeves up, in armor, and Lance is wearing his chest plate backwards. Not even ironically, he just thought it looked better that way. Mace stares at them for a long moment, head tilted just enough to signal, I have no time for this, but I also need answers. Your genetic donor must have been defective, he says, flat as Durasteel. Joey jerks back like he's been shot. Rude? My mom says I'm handsome. Mace's eyes narrow. Your mother shouldn't exist. The sentence hangs there in the smoke and dust. JC glances at the others, unsure if he should be offended. His voice low. What does that mean? Chris frowns. I don't know, but I think he just insulted us and our families? A real clone trooper jogs past, giving them a quick once-over, and mutters into his helmet mic. Commander, these new guys are weird. Armor's wrong, gate's wrong. One of them winked at me? Do we detain, or...? The answer comes back as just static and a frustrated sigh from Mace. He looks back at the 5 strangers, his face as impassive as ever, but his voice sharpened to a point. If you're not Fett's batch, then whose are you? The problem is, none of them have an answer, they just know one thing. The way they're looking at them, Samuel L. Jackson is not acting. The battlefield is roaring, blaster fire ripping the air to shreds, droids clanking forward in endless waves, the smell of scorched metal and burning sand thick enough to taste. Mace Windu takes one look at these 5 mismatched clones in front of them. Clearly not soldiers, clearly not anything he's ever seen before, and he makes a decision. No time to figure them out, no time for questions. If they're here, they can fight. He grabs a stack of spare DC-15 blaster rifles from the wreckage and shoves one into each of their hands. Point. Shoot. Try not to hit me, he says, his voice flat. Then he turns back toward the fight, because the war isn't going to pause for his confusion. Justin catches his rifle, stares at it for half a second, and drops it straight into the sand like it's a hot frying pan. Okay, first of all, heavy. Second, hot. Is this even safe? Chris, on the other hand, accepts his blaster with a flourish like he's just been handed a stage prop. He spins it, twirls it under one arm, then yanks a second rifle off a fallen clone and starts dual-wielding. It's all about presentation, baby, he shouts, posing between bursts of completely inaccurate blaster fire. JC grips his blaster and squints down the sight. Okay, just squeeze the trigger, right? The rifle kicks in his hands, and by sheer accident, or maybe the Force has a cruel sense of humor, his shot slams directly into the chest plate of a charging super battle droid. The machine staggers, sparks spewing from its torso, and collapses face first into the dirt. JC freezes, mouth open. I did it, guys! Guys, I did it! Mace doesn't even turn it around. Do it again, he says, cutting through the blaster fire. Meanwhile, Lance has already made a tactical retreat, sliding behind the nearest clone trooper and keeping between himself and the enemy. He keeps his blaster pointed skyward and hums the bass line to Bye 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 under his breath like it's a nervous tick. The clone in front of him doesn't even notice the extra shadow. He's too busy mowing down droids to realize he's supporting a pop star as mobile cover. Joey alternates between panic firing into the dust and ducking every time something explodes within 20 meters. This is not AFM compliant, he says right before a chunk of smoking battle droid lands at his feet. He jumps back like it's about to bite him. From a distance, it's pure chaos. Glittering armor plates flashing in the sun, blaster bolts spraying everywhere but the intended targets, frantic shouting drowned out by the hum of Mace's lightsaber and the whine of incoming gunships. But somehow the chaos works. Droids redirect their fire toward the erratic, flailing clones, leaving gaps in their line. The real clone troopers surge forward, taking advantage of every wild distraction. In some insane, improbable way, NSYNC is actually contributing to the battle. Not because they're trained, or brave, or in any way competent, but because 5 wildly out-of-place humans in bedazzled armor are the most confusing thing the Separatist army has ever seen. And for a few surreal minutes, they're actually part of the Republic war effort, completely unprepared, utterly out of their depth, and somehow, against all odds, still on their feet. The battle is a roar of chaos. Blaster fire cutting the air into burning lines, droid metal shattering across the ground, clone voices barking coordinates over the comms. The 5 pop stars turned reluctant clones are still huddled behind the jagged wreck of a downed spider droid when the sound changes. A deep, rhythmic wump 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 pulses through the sand beneath their boots. Louder, closer. The pitch of the fight seems to shift with it. Clone troopers straightening, Jedi glancing up like they can already sense what's coming. Out of the haze, an LAT gunship breaks through, its silhouette framed against the sun. The repulsor lifts churn the air into a choking dust storm as it drops toward the ground. The side doors hiss open, hydraulics groaning over the thrum of blaster cannons. And there, standing at the edge of the ramp like some tiny green general ripped from a fever dream, is Yoda. Not a hologram, not a theme park mascot, not a puppet dangling from fishing wire. Actually Yoda. He grips the frame of the doorway with one 3-fingered hand, cloak snapping in the hot wind, his eyes locked on the battlefield with the calm fury of someone who's been disappointed in an entire galaxy for centuries now. The 5 of them just stop, mid-breath, mid-blink, blasters half raised. That's CGI, right? Chris says slowly, narrowing his eyes like he's looking for the green screen backdrop, like prequel era CGI, really good, early 2000s rendering? Yoda blinks once, tilts his head, and says in that unmistakable voice, "Real I am, dead you may be, if I do not." Justin's reaction is instant and volcanic. He practically launches to his feet. Holy shit, it's Yoda! Oh, fucking really, oh my god, not a puppet, not a cartoon, oh my god, fucking god, it's Yoda! His voice cracks halfway through from just sheer excitement, like a kid who just got handed a lifetime pass to every convention center ever. Joey takes one look at the tiny Jedi Master, mutters, "Nope, He goes stiff as a board. His eyes roll back and he collapses sideways into the sand, armor plates rattling on impact. A nearby clone trooper glances down at the unconscious form, then steps right over him to keep firing at advancing droids. Yoda exhales, long, slow, ancient, like a man who has led 1,000 battles and still somehow keeps attracting this level of weird. Without another word, he hops lightly off the gunship ramp and walks straight towards the light, cloak billowing behind him, leaving the clones in stunned silence and swirling dust. Even Mace Windu looks back just long enough to give the five a look that says, yeah, that's Yoda. And no, you're not that special for meeting him. For the first half of the fight, NSYNC is nothing but a liability. 5 glittery, ill-fitting targets flailing around the battlefield. But then, something strange happens. Blaster fire cuts across their position, and instead of scattering in 5 different directions like normal people, they all duck left, then pop up, then pivot right, then back again. It's not training, it's not strategy, it's muscle memory. It's their choreography. Somewhere in their pop star brains, the same instincts that kept them on beat in sold-out arenas now have them dodging blaster bolts like it's dress rehearsal. One shot zips past Justin's head, he tilts back just far enough for Chris to slide in front, fire wildly at nothing, and spin away like he's hitting a dance break. Joey and Lance drop to one knee in perfect unison without even realizing it, forcing a droid to overshoot and take a blaster bolt from a real clone trooper instead. They're still terrible shots, don't get me wrong. Half, if not more, of their blaster bolts are lighting up empty sky or hitting the dirt 5 meters short, but they're not dying. And more importantly, they're confusing the hell out of the Separatists. The targeting algorithms just can't keep up. 5 human-shaped targets moving in perfect, unpredictable synchronization, each dodging before the shot is even lined up. It's enough to make the droid's processors choke. Within minutes, the front line of battle droids is firing too late, too early, or even directly into their own troops. The clones start to notice. Between bursts of disciplined blaster fire, they start shouting encouragement over their comms. "Keep it up, Sync Squad! Clear a lane for the boy band!" The nickname sticks, the Sync Squad. Even Mace has to grudgingly admit, as he slices another droid in half, that the 5 glitter-armored disasters have managed to survive longer than expected. But the tightness around his eyes says it all. Useful or not, he still doesn't trust them. Not until he knows where they came from, and why the hell they move like this. The guns fall silent at last. The smoking wreckage of Geonosis stretches out across the horizon. Shattered droids, cratered sand, the acrid haze of victory hanging in the air. Clone troopers regroup, Jedi confer, gunships circle in for extraction. The 5 members of NSYNC are still standing. Armor scorched, ears ringing, faces caked with dust and sweat. Somehow, impossibly, they made it through. Mace Windu approaches, lightsaber clipped back to his belt, expression unreadable. "You're coming with us," he says. Justin flashes a grin. "Sweet! Autograph session on Coruscant with Sam Jackson, right?" Mace doesn't even blink. No evaluation. They exchange a look, half excitement, half confusion. None of them notice the way the clones nearby are already making quiet bets on just how long the Sync Squad are going to survive Jedi Temple life. They follow Mace toward the waiting gunship, still convinced this might just be the weirdest fan experience of their lives. It isn't. But that's a story for another day. This has been Canon Chaos. I really appreciate everybody who's taken this journey with us. It's been really fun. Keep your suggestions coming. You've given us some really phenomenal ideas, and can't wait to continue seeing what we can do.